2020. Welcome to RMU Extra. I'm Austin Bechtold alongside my co-host Luke Yost. We got another great show for you tonight, including Nate Breisinger discussing the biggest breakout artists of the year in the world of music. Colby Sherwin will be here to talk about the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. Sam Dutch discusses her favorite parts of Halloween, and Wyatt Fiedler will be here for a highly anticipated interview about his time working in the RMU dining services. But let's first start with Big Brother, as there are only 3 days left, including today, in Season 22 and the second ever All-Star season. So, Luke, right now, what are you looking for? As last week Enzo won HOH and Cody won the veto. Any surprises with Christmas going home?
No, because I feel like we saw Nicole F., Cody, and Enzo kind of make a 3 after Memphis went home. But why not take the shot at Cody? I know Enzo's boys with him, and they've been Final Two for a long time, but like Enzo next to Nicole and Christmas has a better shot than Enzo next to Cody at the end of this thing.
Right, and I
anybody next to Cody's not going to win this thing.
No one's going to beat Cody if he makes it, and I think that whoever wins, if it's not Cody, I really think that Enzo or even Nicole is going to take him. It would not surprise me.
I think if you want to win this game right now, and you're in the final 3, and you look at it from a pure game standpoint, I don't care how you feel about somebody, and you have to make a big move to win. Because if you just take Cody with you at the end, Cody controlled this house, whether you knew it or not. Right? He kept this thing rolling all season. And if you want to win this game, you got to take him out. He's got to be the first. He's got to be one that goes if you win the HOH and have that opportunity to pick you to go to the final 2.
So you mentioned Cody, and him winning the veto was the only person to be able to vote to evict somebody, and he evicted Christmas. Do you think this was good for his game overall? Or do you think it even matters with just how well he's playing?
Right there. It didn't even matter. It didn't even matter who we put there, because at this point in the game, we're going to harp on it again. We've harped on the whole show.
Yep.
If you can't take Cody out in the first, like to pick your final 2, if you're Enzo and you're Nicole, Cody has to go. Cody next to anybody's going to win this game.
No doubt. So why do you think Nicole is still there? She's already won the game. This is his 3rd time playing. Why do you think no one's taking the shot at Nicole? Because I'm honestly surprised that she's gotten to Final 3. I give her credit.
She hasn't been a threat, right? She hasn't made herself a threat enough to be like, oh, we need to take her out. She hasn't really stepped up in an alliance and tried to like take over for a week or 2. She hasn't really made big moves. She's kind of just nodded her head and kept it moving. And I think she's played a brilliant social game. I think she's talked to a lot of people, got a lot of people's ears, was telling people what they should do, not what they need to do, what they should do. And I think she's done a great job with her season so far.
Yeah, I agree. I think she's done good. She won HOH a couple weeks ago, and then the veto, BB Comics. So quickly, finale night is Wednesday. Who do you think wins?
Cody.
No doubt about it.
No doubt about it.
If he makes it there, and if he wins this final HOH, or even if he gets taken, Cody's going to win it. So, Luke, it's going to be interesting to see. 2-hour season finale.
It's going to be exciting.
It's really going to be exciting. But for the latest news, arts and entertainment, and sports going on around RMU, make sure to check out RMU Central Media on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram to stay up to date on all things happening around campus. You can check out the website at rmucentralmedia.com. I'm now joined by Nate Breisinger to discuss breakout artists this year in the music world. So, Nate, thanks for coming on for RMU Extra today.
Thanks for having me.
I want to first ask you, what is your take just on music in general in 2020?
You know, I think it's been a pretty solid year so far because you have the pandemic come in and, you know, a lot of people were sort of bored out of their minds, but a lot of people released a lot of good music. Before I've talked about Detroit 2, Big Sean. Recently, you had Savage Mode 2. Earlier in the year, you had Circles from Mac Miller, and Juice WRLD released an album as well. So a lot of good albums so far in the year.
Juice WRLD, great album. Me and Jared Calvert talked a little Juice WRLD last week. But we see on the graphic here, so some breakout artists from this past year. Let's go one by one. What have you liked this year from Jack Harlow?
You know, I thought he's bringing a little bit of a different style. I mean, sort of that youth that he encompasses, and I think, you know, his breakout hit and What's Poppin', I think really took, you know, the music world by storm.
Yeah.
And
then the remix came out later.
Yeah, and I think the remix might actually be better than the original version. And I usually don't like a lot of remixes that come after the original version of songs. But I think Jack Harlow really came in and really kicked a lot of things off in terms of, you know, this new wave of artists, and that's going on down to Pop Smoke.
Yeah.
He was a guy that was around a little bit but didn't get a lot of attention until this year with Meet the Woo 2, and then his passing, and then with the releasing of Shoot for the Stars, Aim for the Moon. I think both of those projects really catapulted him into the limelight here, and easily Shoot for the Stars, Aim for the Moon is definitely a contender for Album of the Year.
What You Know About Love, great song.
Yeah, it is.
Let's talk about Ian Dior now. I personally, he's probably my favorite artist that's still living after the unfortunate passing of Juice WRLD. So what do you think? I like Ian Dior a lot. What do you think?
Yeah, I think Ian Dior is another guy on this list who sort of brings another dimension of that youthness. He released another album, I'm Gone, and then his work with 24 Karat Gold,
Mood, great breakout song.
Yeah, there's a lot of hit songs, a lot that you find on TikTok where you always find the newest trends, and he's been all over it. So I think he's another artist that has really stood out so far this year.
Yeah, and he just released a new song called Tonight. I believe it was Wednesday it dropped, but it was also featured on New Music Friday. Really good song that I liked. Who do you think is going to be dropping any new music soon? Has anybody been previewing anything? 2 Chainz has an album coming out this Friday, and then you have Trippie Redd, which is a highly anticipated album with Pegasus coming out on October 30th this Friday. Those 2 albums are ones to watch out for, especially for Trippie Redd. I like it. Who else do you think has the potential to really break out this season like Ian Dior and Pop Smoke have?
There's a lot of artists that have a lot of potential, and knowing some release dates, there's a lot of different artists who are releasing soon, but someone who I think maybe that a lot of people don't know about is IDK. That's his name. He sort of encompasses, type of versatility. Kind of sounds a little bit of Denzel Curry mixed with JID and a little bit of Chance the Rapper. He's a guy that touches on old school, new school. He brings in, that new melodic type of hip hop.
Like
he's a type of guy that I think could break out or come into the forefront of hip hop.
Lastly, this is our Halloween episode. So are there any Halloween songs that you recommend people listen to coming up on Saturday for Halloween?
Can't go wrong with Thriller by Michael Jackson,
Yeah.
but I mean, if you want to sit in your room and sort of stare at the wall, turn on the Halloween theme music from the movie Halloween. Get into the spooky mood.
Very interesting. Well, Nate, I want to thank you for coming on. We really appreciate it. So
Thanks,
up next, Colby Sherwin will join me to talk about the Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown. It's going to be pretty fun, Nate. So stay with us.
I said RMU both.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made her college years happen. Wacha. Opening that education savings account when she was little. Spearheading a campus tour. And another, and another, and another, and another. Bam! Deciphering financial aid. She was like, what? And now she's like, you aced planning for college. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
Jason, let's go see your room.
How was it? Is it good?
Things could be stranger, but I don't know how. I'm going through changes now. Could spend a lifetime trying to figure it out. I'm going through changes, through all of the strangeness. I'm going through changes now.
Welcome back to RMU Extra. I'm now joined by Colby Sherwin as a part of our Halloween show to talk about the Great Pumpkin. So, Colby, first, thanks for coming on the show today.
Thanks for having me.
So I want to first ask you, what is your favorite part of Halloween and just the Halloween season?
I gotta say the candy. I like Reese's or Butterfingers. Those are my 2 favorites. And I really like Charlie Brown. Actually, it's one of my favorite Halloween movies to watch.
So for someone that hasn't watched The Great Pumpkin, Charlie Brown, I have, but for somebody that might not have, what's it all about?
So basically, Linus has
kind of like a Santa Claus type person. Linus is Charlie Brown's friend, and he just waits in the pumpkin patch from about 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. waiting for a great pumpkin.
So what exactly is the Great Pumpkin?
He says it's a giant pumpkin that flies through the skies, and he knows who's good or bad, and gives toys to the kids.
He gives children to the kids?
Yeah, there it is. Toys to the kids.
All right, well, who's your favorite character then? Is Linus your favorite, or is there someone else in the special that you like?
Normally, it probably would be Linus, but in this one, it's Snoopy. By far, he takes the show. His costume is they call it an Air Force World War I Air Force Ace, which is just a pilot. And they have this little, like, halfway through the show, and it runs halfway through all the way. He's going after the Red Baron is his mission to shoot him down. And he crashes, and he's walking through the French countryside to get back to his house. It's by far the funniest part of the entire special.
Snoopy is definitely an iconic Peanuts character. So I want to ask you, so the original Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown came out, what, in I believe the 60s?
1966.
Yeah, so what has changed really what do you notice just in how old the episode really is? Is there anything that really dates it?
There are a couple of, like, how they speak almost is kind of like, this isn't from 2020. Their clothes, you kind of notice it because all the guys are in, like, striped, like a plain t-shirt and, like, khaki shorts, very short khaki shorts and, like, Converse type shoes. So that's not something people wear nowadays. But other than that, they're kind of just, like, little jokes here and there that, like, they hit, but it's older type things.
Yeah, the Converse shoes actually used to be some of the old NBA shoes.
Yeah.
So the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown is a great special, just that Charlie Brown is in. Is there any other specials based on Charlie Brown that you like?
So there are two other ones that I know of. There is the Christmas one, which is by far my favorite. It's an all-time classic. Basically, Charlie Brown just tries to get a Christmas tree, and he's the director of the play. I'm not going to spoil it, but if you've never seen it, go watch it. They have a really great song. And then there's a Thanksgiving one, which is a two-parter. One is Snoopy and Charlie Brown host Thanksgiving dinner for his friends. It's really great. And then they tell the story of Thanksgiving with the Peanut characters, which is by far really great. But the Christmas one is my favorite.
So, Colby, what are the three things that you don't talk about with family during the holiday season?
According to Linus, it is politics, religion, and the Great Pumpkin.
You know it. I want to thank you for coming on, Colby.
Thanks for having me.
It was a good time. So, coming up after the break, Luke Yost will be here with Wyatt Fiedler in the highly anticipated interview talking about the RMU cafeteria. So stay with us here on RMU Extra. Shit, I did that wrong. We'll break.
I love my sister. My heart doesn't see race. Love is love.
What are you doing in there?
What's that?
I wouldn't do that. What are you doing? What are you looking for?
How prepared is your family if a hurricane shows up at your doorstep, or a flood, or a blizzard? You can't just turn away a natural disaster. That's why it's important to go to ready.gov/plan now. It has the tools and tips you need to make an emergency plan with your family. So if disaster comes knocking,
Let's go.
you'll be ready to help keep your family safe.
It's just a pizza.
Yes.
Make a plan today.
You may not know who I'm standing next to, but you definitely know what he does. It's RMU dining legend, Wyatt Fiedler. Wyatt, you just left the fine job that is the RMU Dining Services. on to greener pastures, in your own words there. How long were you a part of the RMU Dining Services?
I filled in my job application at the Ice House Bistro when I was 16 years old. Got hired 4 days later. My hire date was April 14th, 2017. So, been there almost over 3 years.
So you worked at the Gus Crop Gym after the closure of the bistro due to COVID-19. Do you miss the bistro? Is that like your baby?
The bistro is my baby. The bistro is where I became a man. The bistro is everything to me. So definitely gonna miss the bistro.
You saw it there, second overall pick in the Kmart Cup Basketball League. You worked in the Gus Crop Gym, a gym that you worked in the Kmart Cup League.
It was cruel and unusual punishment, my friend.
You know more any detail about that? It was cruel and unusual, but like what made it cruel? Because we couldn't
What
play
made
there
it cruel is I'd spend 8 hours out of my day sitting in the gym wishing I was playing Kmart Cup basketball with my teammates on the clearance racks.
We saw Luka Doncic's jersey. Is he the favorite player in the league? And what is the best player that you would, in the RMU Dining Services, now that you're out, who do you think the best basketball player is? Who should we watch out for on campus that could probably ball out against anybody?
From RMU Dining Services,
Yes, sir.
my guy Josh in the cafe, he's got the confidence, the swagger to carry a team.
You got the confidence and swagger. Now, one of my favorite things that you ever made me at the bistro, and I miss them a lot because it's closed down, we can't do hockey right now, are the mozzarella wedges that you did. Can you just, what kind of process goes into that?
What kind of process goes into making the mozzarella wedges? Well, it takes a few days. It's a very long, complicated process. You have to take the big logs, provolone. You got to slice them up all nice and thick. Stack them up, cut them into fours, bread them, freeze them, take them back out, bread them twice so they don't fall apart in the fryer. Bread them twice, freeze them, bag them, ready to go. And they rival the likes of the Permane brothers' mozzarella wedges.
They definitely rival them. I might put them at number one.
Number one?
Number one.
That's a little harsh.
Now, you've been there for nearly 5 years. 3.5, you said, almost 4. Could be 5, we'll round up. That's how this game works. What is your favorite dish that you've ever eaten out of RMU Dining Services?
Out of RMU Dining Services? Well, I believe it was about a week and a half ago. We had chicken and waffles in the cafe, and I thought it was pretty delicious.
Pretty delicious chicken and waffles. Last question. What's your thoughts on Southwest sauce? Somebody who worked for the brand. What's your thoughts on
Southwest sauce? I mean, if you don't get the Southwest sauce, I don't know what you're doing.
All right. Now after the break, we will be with Southwest sauce fan Sam Dutch as she talks all about Halloween and her favorite Halloween memories. Stay with us here at Robert Morris or RMU-TV's RMU Focus.
Over. Chance high five. All right.
When you adopt a shelter pet, you discover all the things that make them unique.
And your mother
I am totally a hot person. Right, guys? Thanks for being honest. They're a little bit of a lot of things, but they're all pure love. Adopt pure love at theshelterpetproject.org.
Multiple studies have shown that marijuana can slow both driver reaction and response time, which can be really dangerous. He's here. He's here.
Wait.
What?
I can't drive.
What?
My. Oh.
Stem is precise, no margin for error.
Dare to forget that. Dare to have fun with it. Get weird with it. Dare to send those old STEM theories flying past the neighbor's house into outer space. Dare to program something internet breaking, record breaking. Dare to blow their minds. Dare to learn the difference between sedimentary and metamorphic rock. Go find those rocks. Dare to keep daring. Dare to STEM. Check out She Can STEM.
Welcome back to RMU Extra. I'm now joined by Sam Dutch once again to talk about Halloween and some of her favorite Halloween memories. So, Sam, thanks for coming on as always.
Thanks for always having me.
So I want to first ask you, as I asked Colby, what is your favorite part of Halloween?
My favorite part, I would have to say, is all the costumes and dressing up. It's just always so much fun to see everyone and how they can creatively make costumes. And I personally love dressing up. I think it's a lot of fun. So that's definitely my favorite part.
So I can tell you're definitely excited then for Halloween, right? So what is your favorite Halloween candy?
My favorite candy are forever Kit Kats. I would say the Halloween season, I love a good pumpkin Reese's cup though. It really hits different than opposed to the regular ones. I love the pumpkins.
I really like M&Ms.
Those too. I mean, I like everything.
That's always been my favorite.
I got you.
Do you think that having Halloween on a Saturday will make Halloween feel a little different and really just like a better experience of having Halloween?
Yeah, I think Saturday is like the perfect time to have Halloween. You have like Sunday to like eat the rest of your candy, go get some half off candy. I think that's important.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Saturday is a great day to have it. This year we've had a lot of holidays on the weekends. Same with like Christmas, I think, on the weekend. So yeah, I think it's really nice to get to take that time to have some Halloween festivities.
Do you have any special Halloween memories that really are just in the back of your head that you really can't forget?
I had a birthday party a few years ago. That was, my birthday's in September, but we had to push it back. I had like surgery, so we made it October, and it was a Halloween birthday party. Everyone dressed up. It was like my family, friends. It was just a big, fun. That's really my favorite Halloween memory.
That sounds pretty fun. What's your favorite Halloween costume? I personally am told that when I wear this, I look like I own an Olive Garden.
Yeah, I for sure think that's accurate.
Okay.
I think my favorite one that I've been was Velma from Scooby-Doo. I had a group of friends do the Scooby-Doo gang. I think it's fun to have like group costumes. That's a lot of fun. That was probably my favorite one that I've been.
So there's a lot of restrictions with the coronavirus going on. Are kids still able to go trick-or-treating this year?
Yeah, as far as I know, I think they are. I think, of course, they have to wear masks and some social distancing, so maybe they can incorporate like a fun mask into their costume. But yeah, I'm not sure if people have to leave their candy on their doorstep instead of the traditional trick-or-treat.
I think so.
That's kind of sad.
So
it's a little sad.
What do you plan on doing this Halloween season?
That's a great question. I'm hoping that one of my friends here throws a Halloween party. That would be a lot of fun. As of right now, I'd like to maybe carve pumpkins. They have like a festival here, so that'd be fun to go do that.
Yeah.
And they said that there's trick-or-treating in our building, so I hope to get some candy.
That sounds kind of interesting.
Yeah,
Probably should check that out.
For sure.
So let me ask you, you mentioned that you like pumpkins. We saw a ghost on the graphic.
I know.
What is your preference? Do you like ghosts for Halloween or do you like pumpkins? It's kind of a weird question, but what's your preference?
It's so hard. That ghost that you saw on my graphic is just so cute, and I love ghosts.
Yeah.
I love ghosts. Pumpkins are fun because you can carve them, you can put them out. They're cute. At the end of the day, though, I have to go with a cute, lovable ghost. It really brings the Halloween spirit, if you catch what I'm saying.
It sure does.
Right.
Well, I hope you have a good Halloween, Sam, and I thank you for coming on. We appreciate it.
We wish you a Merry Christmas. Now back to you, Austin.
Thank you, Luke Yost. Really appreciate that. Coming up, Luke Yost will be back with me. We're going to be talking about things that you definitely should be watching this week. So stay tuned here on RMU Extra.
If you need to do something to feel okay to drive, you're not okay to drive. Don't drive buzzed.
Maybe you can make retirement happen. After all, you made her college years happen. Wacha. Opening that education savings account when she was little. Spearheading a campus tour. And another, and another, and another, and another. Bam! Deciphering financial aid. She was like, what? But now she's like, you aced planning for college. Now get the tips you need to get on track at aceyourretirement.org.
Jason, let's go see your room.
things could be stranger, but I don't know how. I'm going through changes now. Could spend a lifetime trying to figure it out. I'm going through changes, through all of the strangeness. I'm going through changes now.
Welcome back to RMU Extra. So far, Nate Breisinger joined the show to talk about the latest breakout artist in the music world. Colby Sherwin recaps The Great Pumpkin. Sam Dutch talked about Halloween, and Wyatt Fiedler described his experience working at the Island Bistro and John Jay Cafe. So, Luke, before we get into This Week in Sports, what did you think of the interview with Wyatt?
It was definitely different, different than any other interview I've ever done. It was somebody who I know Wyatt very well. I'd say very well, at least in this sense, in the RMU-TV sense. But it was interesting. It was fun to see his take on dining services, and I know that he's moving on to better places.
Yeah, I thought it was very interesting. But let's now move on to This Week in Sports. There's a lot going on in the world of the NFL and definitely in the MLB with World Series Game 6 coming up tomorrow night. The Dodgers are up 3-2 on the Tampa Bay Rays. Saw an explosive game from the Dodgers last night. Their pitching really has been improved, and really their starting pitching is what's carrying them.
And for the Rays, they've been carried by one player, and that's Rosarina. He's broken 2 postseason records with hits and home runs in a single postseason. He's killing it for the Rays, and if he can carry them to a Game 7, they might have a shot at winning this thing.
Yeah, especially with how dominant their bullpen is. You look at just Peter Fairbanks is really good, and you got Diego Castillo. They got so many good relievers that you can throw out there.
They've got some weapons, and I think the pitching is always what comes down in the World Series. Everybody talks about the bats and things like that. If you have arms at the end of this thing, you're going to win the games.
Yeah, you definitely are. Nick Anderson, another arm to watch. The Steelers are playing great. They're taking on the Ravens next week. Steelers actually now 6-0 after beating the Tennessee Titans. And Luke, just seeing how they jumped out to such a commanding lead against the Tennessee Titans, and then it got close at the very end. Steelers almost found a way to lose.
That's Steeler football for you, though. They blew out the Browns last week, and then yesterday they played the Titans. They played well, I thought, in the first half, really. Second half, they kind of got a little slow and able to hang on against Derrick Henry and the guys from Nashville.
Right, and Robert Spillane making a great tackle on Derrick Henry at the 1-yard line to try to prevent Henry from scoring. They eventually did end up scoring because of the penalty later on that Tennessee was able to convert on. But seeing this defense where Devin Bush got hurt and Spillane really being the guy that had to step in for him, it looked like he did a pretty good job. I still think they might have to trade for a middle linebacker, but Spillane played a great role in that game.
And you talked about it. You were on Sports Talk in the Berg the week after Devin Bush probably ended his season. Let's be honest.
Yeah, he did with a torn ACL.
Tore the ACL end of the season. This is a Steelers team that after what they did to Derrick Henry, I don't think you're going to see a better running back the rest of the year here, and I think that's a recipe for success moving forward.
Yeah, and the Cardinals, they put on a show last night against Seattle, winning at home. Seattle, Russell Wilson just kind of threw the game away really at the end. And Arizona's kicker got another chance to be able to win the game in overtime, and they were able to do that. So
Russell Wilson's still my MVP. I just wanted to put that in there.
He's playing phenomenal. I still think that you got to look at Roethlisberger, someone for the Steelers, how great they're playing. But let's move on to what to watch. My what to watch this week is This Is Us tomorrow night at 9. But before we go into a deeper dive on that, Luke, what's yours?
My what to watch is this Wednesday night, really. RMU Tonight, produced by our own Jonah Hoy. And here's what we're going to expect. A Luke Yost versus our executive producer, Michael Bennett, Reese Cup Eating Challenge, 25 minutes. Whoever eats the most Reese Cups, it's going to be a wild time, and we might see some fireworks.
I'm really looking forward to watching that. But mine's got to be This Is Us. It debuts Tuesday night, which is tomorrow at 9 p.m. It's going to be a 2-hour premiere for Season 5. And it's going to be really interesting to see just everything that's happened with Randall and Kevin and just the whole Pearson family to be able to see what's going to happen next with the chapter moving on. And there's only going to be one season left coming up. But, Luke, that's all the time that we have for this week's RMU Extra. For everyone in the control room and downstairs on the floor, as well as for Nate Breisinger, Colby Sherwin, Sam Dutch, and Wyatt Fiedler, and Luke Yost, I'm Austin Bechtold. We will see you next Monday night.